topic as addressing, like, there's a lot of fear that comes along with being a woman.
Yeah.
We deal with a lot of just, like, implanted from birth type of, I mean, it's very volatile against women all around the world, not just in the United States. We have it pretty
all
good.
Around the world.
We have it pretty good here, but, you know, other places is scary.
Right. And you know what I think a most recent victory in way of people being accused of sexual harassment was the Alabama.
Right. Pause. Because why were people being like, Roll Tide? Like, I don't think, like, okay, so the victory happened last night, and people were like, Roll Tide, like, celebrating it with that.
Why didn't they say War Eagle?
That's
in Alabama.
Auburn. I don't know. I was just like,
what?
The internet.
Those are not
fools.
Even connected.
Like, why? Yeah, maybe they're just proud to be from Alabama, so all they could shout out was Roll Tide
because of Alabama. Yeah. Okay, so
stupid. And Alabama has red colors, which is not democratic.
So they're just trying to relate in the best way that they can.
Oh, Lord.
So it was cool because, you know, Roy Moore had been accused of approaching young girls when he was in his 30s.
13 and 14-year-old girls, right?
Yes. So many allegations had been made, and he had not done anything to defend these claims, to defend himself against
Yet
these
he
claims.
did cling to the Lord. And
that's so
Republican Christianity is the most frustrating thing to me.
It's so frustrating.
It is just one, and it's almost one of those when you speak to non-believers.
Oh yeah,
they feel like every Christian feels like that.
They do, and I do. I know that it's a trick to continue to perpetuate this chaos amongst Christians and to keep steering people away from the faith. But
I was just like, this is too deep. We can't talk about this part right now, but I was just so annoyed with, you know, his wife talking about they know Jewish people. Like, it was so
the most
embarrassing
undertone
and just,
racist type.
It was just bad. So we are excited about Alabama.
Yeah, Doug Jones ended up winning.
He did.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you, and please don't pick at me, but honestly, I teared up.
Did you?
When Doug Jones won.
Oh my
and let me tell you why. Because I felt like I just felt like what I believe in my heart about people was confirmed through that. I was like, I knew that the morally upright Christians or people, believers, or just people, I don't even care what you believe in, but the morally upright people would prevail. And it just made me feel like
time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready for humanity to like show up at some point.
Yes. And Steve Harvey brought up a very good point. At any point, at the point at which you're supporting a party so strictly that it overshadows your moral beliefs. Yeah. That's a problem. Like,
that's the problem with the U.S.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you have just thrown everything out the window. You wouldn't trust this guy with your daughter, 21-year-old daughter,
or 13,
right? So like, I'm sorry, I started thinking about Trump.
Trump. I know,
but like, if you wouldn't want, you would be very upset if Donald Trump said to your wife, "Right, let me grab you by the pee." Like, it's just, I don't understand.
And all of it should be unsettling.
Exactly.
Your own or anybody else's. Like, why are we not? And I didn't discuss politics with students in my classes. That's not, but the histogram, I think it is, that explains like the percentage of sex and race that voted for Moore versus Jones. And I mean, this was I hate when I'm explaining race and I'm like, if it's white, you say Caucasian, like, because I don't call people Caucasians. I actually call them white. Yeah. So, anyways, it was a young lady, was like, yes, I'm embarrassed to be white again. Like, she saw the stats. So the stats read, 4 more, 74% white men. 4 more, and more is the molester. Okay. 4 more, 65% white women. Okay. And then 4 more black men, 7%. 4 more, 3% black women. So basically, the black woman's vote was the majority for Jones. Mm-hmm. What I don't understand is the discrepancy between black women and white women.
Right.
Because a woman, period, should never... Now, we'll talk about men later, because you know how I feel about some of these men.
Yes, I do, Lord. I know how you feel, Jesus.
I love my black man. Mm-hmm. But why would a woman, any woman, pick any woman in the world, who of those women would sign up to elect a child molester? Like, so that's back to what you said Steve Harvey said, was like, you're throwing out every single part of you, your morals, your ethics, your being.
Yeah.
For
everything that you've stood for all of your life, everything that you know in your heart is wrong.
Right.
You're just completely ignoring all of that to support a color.
And that's
like, this is some
65%.
This is some real gang stuff, girl.
Yeah.
Like, we got the Bloods and the Crips. And like, ain't nobody ever pointed that out.
But like 65, that's more than half of women in Alabama.
That's huge.
Feel like this is okay.
It's okay. But that goes back to that.
Golly.
Setting boundaries and self-confidence. Because if you feel that, that's all it boils down to. Is there's nothing more to explain that. That's craziness.
So in my opinion, like, now we're back to Trump, because with this was a victory. This is great. We can't really nitpick about how they didn't win or whatever. They won. Thank goodness. But for Trump, sometimes I'm just wondering, like, these people who actually elected him, I've heard one person, Rex Ryan, he's a football coach. He said, I voted for Trump. He's like, and I don't feel good about it. Like, he's the only
admitted
one.
It out loud.
He admitted, he's like, if I had known, he's like, I donated money towards the campaign. And he was like, if I had known that it would turn into this, I would not have voted for him. And I feel really embarrassed that I did. Mm-hmm. If more people would do that, everything would be fine.
Right.
And am I asking everyone to bend the knee like Daenerys from Game of Thrones? Like, you just better bow down because you know you did wrong?
But it would promote change, and it would show
healing.
So a level of healing, yes. And I was gonna say, it would just.
I finished your sentence.
No, but I do like that. It would. Okay. It would. Mm-hmm. Because I know people are all. I mean, I've had this conversation. Like, I'm like, I know that there are some people.
If you could see our faces, they're all screwed up. Like, we are
so perturbed. We're so perturbed.
Oh, God.
I really wish we would start, like, videoing while we're recording the podcast.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
Next Friday. Perhaps next Friday we shall do that.
Perhaps.
Just because to show some clips, that would be very cool.
Oh,
so I just feel like it would make people have a lot more confidence
in
humanity in America.
Yes.
And the people who are right. Like I said,
right is right, wrong is wrong.
At the end of the day, period. Point blank.
Draw your line in the sand.
And stand by that.
For something like sexual harassment or molestation of young people, everybody should be on one side. Right. Who is on the side of who is on the side of do that? Like, murder. Who is for murder?
It's like, yeah.
I'm voting for murder.
I'm voting for the one that murdered somebody.
Right.
Nobody.
But then they do use that justification of abortion as murder. So it's like, are you going to choose murder? Or are you going to choose, this other?
What I'm not about to do is get into that conversation.
It's a lot. It is so much. And this is...
But that was good stuff. There was a victory for humanity.
Yay! Go Alabama.
An all-red state who has not had a Democratic senator in 25 years.
Yeah.
Stood up. Like, they stood up. And was like, nope.
Yeah.
No more of these shenanigans. If
You
this is the
have
way
to-
we can have our voice and try to promote some type of change, we're going to have to do this because this is getting doggone ridiculous. That's what I feel like Alabama said.
And the weirdest thing is that they, like, I think somewhere said that, like, the voters for more just didn't show up. Like, they didn't go. So they didn't even think it was important enough to vote for something like that.
They didn't think it was important enough, or either they thought they had it in the bag.
Like, they had it in the bag, or they thought, like, you know, or they were too embarrassed to vote one way or the other, so they just didn't go.
That one. They rather not go against their set, their clique, their gang.
Yeah.
They rather just stay at the house. And then that way, I don't have to go against my brother.
Yeah.
And
Your brother.
Republican and GOP.
Because honestly, when you think of Alabama, you do think, like, straight up red.
Straight up Selma. March on,
hate.
Birmingham.
Like, yeah.
Riots.
It's a lot. Like, when my husband
Fire
has
hoses.
to drive down there, through there.
Dog attacks.
Yeah. It's like, don't stop. Just stay on 20 and keep going. Like,
What's crazy is we stopped in Birmingham.
Oh, Birmingham is cool, though.
So nice.
Right? Yeah. It's,
But
anywhere in between.
I don't know about anywhere else.
We were in Talladega, and I was like, okay.
Y'all want to go to the races?
Well, they have the HBCU there, Talladega College, so he had a game. And I was like, oh, well, it should be safe because they have an HBCU. So there's some black people there.
Maybe not.
Girl, there is an entire book that is written about, like, safe places to stop in the South.
Wow.
That it was, like, passed down from, like, the slave time, kind of. And it was, like, safe areas.
Where'd you get that? I want to see it.
I think it's called the Black Green Almanac. I'm not sure. I got to make sure. I got to find it.
Please find it, because I would love to have
They
that.
republished it, and now it's, like, this, like, you know, kind of a token
like
of
the
his...
miseducation of the black.
Kind of. Yeah. So I would love to look at that again. And it's like hiking trails and places to stop.
I think you need to get it for us.
Yeah. Okay.
That was great.
So that's a great elephant in the room. We got to do better.
We do. We have to do better because
this
topic here, we got to do better. As parents, as people of the United States and American culture, we've got to do better.
Yeah.
So, this topic that we're speaking of, that's so near and dear to many of our hearts.
Oh, right.
Is the elf.
Elf
on the shelf. May I please pause and give a shout out to that UW-G, University of West Georgia, because the person who wrote this book and came up with the elf on the shelf graduated from the UW-G, University of West Georgia.
So are the elves only down here, or are they all over?
I think they're all over because, I mean, go on Pinterest.
Yeah.
It's not a small thing.
No.
But can I just tell you this one thing before we go into the real topic about the elf on the shelf?
Lord.
I need you to understand how much these kids believe. Like, I gotta whisper, y'all, because my kids downstairs and they might hear me. But like, I had a conversation. You know, I'm an elementary school assistant principal.
I had a co-teacher who had an elf in the high school class, and they loved it.
Shut your mouth.
They loved it. He did all kinds of things with that elf every day.
That is so cute. So my babies were telling me, though, that there are all of these videos on YouTube of people and their elves, and it just makes them believe even more. Because these elves are doing things like on film, on camera, where they're not even touching them. So they look like they're really doing stuff. So I'm still talking in my low tone because I will not ruin my baby's childhood, okay?
Well, I tried to ruin my...
You clearly did.
My middle school son's
Please tell us
childhood.
about your family experience.
So we've been doing the elf forever, and we're kind of over it. Okay,
girl, because it's easy to get over, Lord.
Because he's in middle school,
but he said he wanted him to come back.
Well, let me tell you
Okay.
So he's in middle school.
I thought you were about to say.
So our plan was to have him help us
set him up
for Missy, who is 9. She's 3rd grade. So yeah. So then when I asked him about it, I was like, "Do you think the elves are going to come back?" And it was just me and him in the car. And he was like, of course.
Oh, I love him.
And so I paused because me and World Famous really thought that he was over it. Like, that